The problem with this is they are actually in Chinese medicine, you have like qi, the energy that flows through you, but
Yeah.
you have, and jing is this storehouse of energy that you're born with. Every time a man ejaculates, he depletes that jing, right? Just like a woman, when we menstruate or have babies, our jing is depleted. So now you've got a man or a young boy or a young man, and he's ejaculating 3, 4 times a day. It isn't the porn that's causing the problem, it's the perpetual ejaculation. Because
Mhm.
what it's doing is it's decreasing his masculine energy, his actual power. And then all of a sudden, he then starts to watch porn. And so, like, imagine you do this for, you know, I don't know, every day for a year, and you're 14. And now all of a sudden,
Before you start to look these podcast episodes, this is part 2. When you saw part 1 already, then it's fine. When not, then go on my YouTube channel or whatever where you looking, listening. Maybe you listen on Spotify, etc. Then there also you find the part 1 also on my channels there. And now, before we start in today's interview, I just have a few words for a interruption free podcast. So, and this brings me already to the first point. Leave a like here, and when you listen to the podcast episode on Spotify, etc., it would mean the world to me when you can rate the podcast with 5 stars. This helps me a lot, and because this podcast thrives through your recommendations, because I don't monetize my YouTube channel or the podcast in general, I don't run any ads, and that's because it's so important that you don't forget when you look the YouTube video, like the video, share the video with your friends, follow me for more conscious content. And yeah, let's just spread these messages. And I always create these podcast episodes with my full heart, and give a lot of energy in there. And the next point is I created a free PDF, From Darkness to Light, Empowering Steps to Overcome Addiction and Depression with a holistic approach. Alright, so this is a free PDF. You just have to contact me over Instagram, email, or whatever. Doesn't matter which platform it is, or just put a comment down in the YouTube video and with your contact that I for sure that I also can reach out to you, and I'll send it to you. All right. So, and the next thing is my coaching program. All right. Probably you know already that the best investment is in yourself. Seriously, it's in yourself. Doesn't matter if you buy Bitcoin, or just if you buy crypto, if you trade, or if you buy real estate, land, gold, whatever you make. For that investments, you need also these different skills. And also the most of the successful people, so much people says that also the best investment is in yourself, no matter what. And because of that, I decided to create my own one-on-one coaching program, because I realized also with my experiences with myself that this is the best way to go, because then the other person you coach can focus fully on you, on your challenges. So you have the opportunity to book your free first coaching meetup call with me personally for free, and then we see if you are a good fit for my coaching program or not, and then it's also completely fine. And this is no selling call. You come out with some realizations, learnings, or more clarity, whatever, and then we see where the divine leads us. And what we go through in my coaching program, or what kind of benefits exactly you have, this you can check on my website. The link is also in the description, and there you can read everything. There are a lot of information. I don't want to go deeper into this here in this video, but just that I said it, so you not have nothing to lose, nothing to lose. And now enjoy the episode, and then see ya in the next one. Let's dive a bit deeper into that masculine and feminine. And you said also before something about pornography. This was also damn such a big topic in my life, because of the of how I was growing up, etc., etc., and I was overcoming that addiction, and a lot of reasons, because of a lot of reasons, because of the work with myself and also with the chakra work. So let's dive a bit deeper into pornography. So what do you think, from your perspective now as Tantra teacher, is the main problem why people are still addicted to porn?
Well, one of the challenges with
I know that's a tough question, right? That's
it's interesting, like porn, I mean, everything, there's good and bad in all industries, right? And I mean,
right.
there's very lovely pornography and there's really nasty pornography. There's a million, there's a lot out there that's all over. And it's a difficult time, right? It's one of those things that people do seek love, and we
Yeah.
do enable to have sex and to have that intimacy. We do desire it, but the world is set up in a way that really creates so much separation, so much isolation, that it's very easy to end up alone. We aren't taught how to love. We aren't taught how to connect with people. We're very judgmental about how people look or how they act. And Hollywood tells us that unless you look like Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie, that you're never going to be loved. Like there's a lot of stuff that people end up very alone. And so
Yeah.
ends up watching pornography, and you know it gives them some sense of excitement that way. You can understand it, like it's not all evil, right? I mean, people are really, it's hard sometimes to find partners. It's hard. The real danger today that I see in pornography, especially for men, is that when I was young, if you wanted to watch pornography, you had to go and buy a magazine, you had to go buy a movie, you had to go, like, it
Yeah.
was really a lot harder.
Yeah.
But so, for example, in connection with Tantra, one
Mm-hmm.
thing we talk a lot about is men not ejaculating. And the reason that is, there's a lot of reasons for that. That's a big topic. I mean, one reason is simply to have the mastery over your own body,
Yeah.
that it's not just this animal thing that just does whatever it wants. And it
Mm.
also, once you are fully connected with it, like you bring consciousness into that part of your body. Because again, religion said it's bad, don't think about it. It just sort of goes over here. So all of a sudden it gets a life of its own because there's
Yeah.
no consciousness, which causes all kinds of, oh my God, crazy thoughts and all kinds of, I'm going to say perversions, but I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I just mean
Yeah.
it starts to want, it makes you act in ways that isn't in alignment with you because you're not looking at it. So to bring it back into the body and bring that consciousness back in is very empowering for a man. Like it's
Mhm.
very empowering because this is the root of your power. So it needs to be centered to you, but not out of control. You need to almost harness it and plug it into the real system. And that's mastery. And that means even when you're making love, that you have full control. Whether you choose to ejaculate or don't choose to ejaculate, that is 100% in your control, but you need to bring your consciousness into it. So the problem with porn today is that in 2006, porn started being streamed through our phones. You didn't have to download it onto your computer. You didn't have to do anything. You could just simply click a button.
Yeah.
There it was. So what was happening is when I started teaching Tantra, there were a lot of men who were teenagers or younger around 2006. And so, of course, they're starting to have hard-ons, they're starting to discover themselves, and they can just look at their phone and watch somebody do, I don't know, a pretty girl, pretty boy, whatever. And of course, so they masturbate to the porn.
Yeah.
And then a few hours later, they do it again. And then a
Yeah.
few hours later, they do it again. The problem with this is they are actually in Chinese medicine, you have like qi, the energy that flows through you, but
Yeah.
you have, and jing is this storehouse of energy that you're born with. Every time a man ejaculates, he depletes that jing, right? Just like a woman, when we menstruate or have babies, our jing is depleted. So now you've
Mhm.
got a man or a young boy or young man, and he's ejaculating 3, 4 times a day. It isn't the porn that's causing the problem, it's the perpetual ejaculation. Because what
Mhm.
it's doing is it's decreasing his masculine energy, his actual power. And then all of a sudden, he then starts to watch porn. And so, like, imagine you do this for, you know, I don't know, every day for a year, and you're 14. And now all of a sudden, you turn on the porn again, and why wouldn't you? I mean, you're 14 years old. Like, I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, this isn't a big judgment, like there's something wrong with you. And now you look at it, but you're not getting hard anymore, right?
Uh,
And now all of a sudden you're feeling crappy about yourself. So now you've got to find edgier porn. You've got to find something that's shocking because your jing is gone. You're
yeah.
actually with an empty tank. So now you have to, and it now, but now it's, you've got fears inside of
Damn.
you, something wrong with you. So it becomes this negative cycle. So now you
Yeah.
feel worse about yourself. You're terrified to ever be with someone. And all you can do is watch the most raunchy, awful porn you can find because you can't get an erection anymore. And so this is like the most, at one point, I was going to write an article or a book all about this, the aliens' plan to destroy the warrior class, and just to simply do it through giving pornography, because essentially you're draining the entire warrior class of all of their power and
Yeah.
destroying their,
Y- You
and
was a
so
you was a bit away destroying what?
destroying your self-worth,
Yeah.
right? Your self-love.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting about stopping the pornography. It's not, in this instance, it's not the porn, it's this constant ejaculation, which actually sets up this really vicious cycle. Because as soon as you stop ejaculating for a while, you just stop, everything comes back. Your jing comes back, your energy comes back, your happiness comes back. But we think it's the porn, but it's actually this perpetual ejaculation.
Mm-hmm.
And of
Yeah.
course, other issues with that, right? That then you don't know. Like I remember when I first started dating again after I was single, I dated men of all ages. Like I didn't really care how old you were. It just, as
Yeah.
long as you
Yeah.
were interesting, I didn't really care. And I dated some men in their 20s who would have been in that generation that they've been basically almost sexually raised on porn. And I remember it's like they didn't know how to touch me. It was almost like they would show up and they would actually play with themselves with me if it didn't work because of course their jing was low.
Damn, yeah, this is such a big topic. Oh, damn. And this, yeah, what I have so much thoughts to that because I was myself in that situation. And but it is what you talked right now about a 14-year-old guy. Sorry, I just have to put the charger on. A lot of things going on today. I have to go to the toilet. I have to put the charger in. But hey, we go with the flow. So, but anyway, in the past, I had also really much struggles with that because I was getting bullied in school, and I had a really difficult past, not much friends, and I was my self-worth, my self-esteem, self-confidence, self-love, it was so low, my frequency, my vibration so low. Then we have the internet. I just was playing all day games and so, and or I was also I love to be outside in nature because I felt already this feeling, this connection to the divine. But anyway, it's such a difficult point, and we have to talk about that. People get aware of that really serious threat that happens to young men, and it's a fucking threat. We get attacked from this system, and the system wants to create weak men, because what weak men want to make against a threat? Nothing, because they are fucking weak. And we just have to talk serious about that. And I'm also extremely passionate about that. I because of that, I get also a bit upset about it, or not upset, but just this energy. And yeah, we have also in that spiritual community this this love, and we have to react with love and everything. And this I wouldn't say this weakness, but it is also the other extreme from the spirituality. And I was also like that in the past. So because I don't had the right father figure, what helped me to grow up, what teach me what it really means to be a man, to just play your role with this, what you talk also about, the masculine and the feminine aspect. And masculinity, healthy masculinity, is fucking important, but this system tries to weaken young men. It's that there are so much threats out there, and I understand this now more and more, why I am how I am. And yeah, I was going through a lot personal development, but what I want to say with it, and I had to talk so much about it now that people understands that. So I looked also in the past everyday porn. I looked everyday porn, but like you described it, it was not that hard. That I don't got a hard one. So, yeah, it's not so funny when, but it's also a bit funny when you think about it. But that young man has to start to look other porn, more hard porn, or how you describe it. That's so hard. That's so hard. And just this coming away from that is the difficult part, and really also hold it. But because of that, we have to do the work with ourselves, just have to go in ourselves and find pleasure somehow else. For example, I make it with fitness. When I wouldn't go in the gym, I don't know what I would make, really. And also with meditation and breath work and all these practices, what we can make, it's really good. And when young men stops to look porn, they definitely see, after a while, sure, as we know, to develop a routine needs 90 days. But then you really see, damn, there's so much more in you, and you really experience more from this masculine power, and not just ejaculating in a paper from a video with a woman and a man you don't know. You know, there's no fucking connection. Yeah.
When it's like what I'm really passionate about, this whole masculine and feminine thing, is everybody actually needs to redefine their masculine within them because of this world, because of this domination paradigm. We're all quite afraid to be masculine. We're either afraid to be masculine because there's been so much oppression, right? We don't want like our like that teacher that was mean or the parent that was controlling. We don't want to be like that, so we back off. So part of being masculine is creation. So like masculine and feminine, for me, there's always two sides. So say the feminine inspiration, like we receive inspiration and then we do it. That's masculine. When we do that, we feel whole. So it's the same as for you. You have the inspiration that you want to have a podcast. You want to explore this, so you do it. And this doing it strengthens the masculine.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You're like, I feel inspired to get fit and I want my body to feel this way. So I'm going to go to the gym. So now you're in union.
Yeah.
And this part in life is because we've been raised with a lot of judgment. So suddenly afraid to be masculine. And what I mean by that is we're afraid to do things. Because what if I fail? What if I'm not as good as that person? What if it doesn't make money? What if that person thinks it's stupid? And imagine like being a young person and all of a sudden, I say, well, just go out and do something fun. You're like, well, what do I do? Because we've actually had it sort of beaten out of us. We've been told, this is what you should do. This is what you're good at. This is what you shouldn't do. As opposed, again, coming back to that inner place of power that says, but this is my life. What is interesting to me? What really makes me excited? And it could be anything, because even if no matter how old you are, if you're addicted to porn or addicted to shopping or addicted to gambling or whatever, the challenge is to find something inside of you that actually excites you. And then you do it. You pour all that life force into doing it. The number one problem in society is we don't have enough interests. We think that our hobbies are just sort of these weird, stupid things you do when you're not working and doing important things. But the reality, the things that are our hobbies, the things that really make our soul happy, they're the reason we're here. Like it isn't about making money. It isn't about that, because fitness is an amazing hobby. Like it's like the word disciple or discipline. Discipline comes from the word disciple. And disciple means I take something and I dive into it. Like I just lay down my life, and it could be learning to play the piano. And so you have a discipline of practicing piano, but it's not like a discipline. I want to explore this every day. I want to go deeper into this every day. And it's the same with fitness. A fitness discipline is like, I want to see where this takes me. I want to know how amazing this could be, right? I'm going to show up for this every single day. This is healthy, right? It could be in relationship to say, I'm going to show up every day. I am going to see what's really possible in this, because I want to explore love. I want to explore real intimacy. I want to explore this. So I'm going to show up every day with an amazing curiosity. That's really wrong, right? It's not what distracts us. It's the fact that we have that center. And that's what we want. We want to really develop that.
So now we was going a bit more into this masculinity. So this was also a question what I wrote me down, what it really means to be masculine and feminine. So let's dive also a bit deeper into the feminine, how you define that.
So the feminine, so imagine there's many different polarities here. So there's the masculine and feminine. So there might be the masculine giving and the feminine receiving, or the masculine structure to the feminine chaos, or the masculine manifestation to the feminine inspiration. Like, to understand that within ourselves, we're always whole. We must have masculine and feminine in balance inside of us.
Yeah.
When we come up to someone else, then we polarize. In order to have an experience with them, we then polarize. So maybe you come up to someone and they've fallen down on the street, right? Well, now they are in a vulnerable state and you're in a protector state. So you come out of your wholeness and help them, right? You help them. And then you both go back into your masculine, feminine selves, where you go back into your wholeness. And then maybe you come up to someone and you ask them a question. Well, now you're in the feminine receiving an answer, and they're going to be in the masculine, right? Then, so it's always, and this is what's really important, because we get stuck thinking, I want to be a masculine person, I want to be a feminine person. But these are just gender stereotypes. The reality is, even if you are, let's say something like a king, and we're just going to use the king because there's a lot of talk about that in sort of how to be masculine talk. You can be a kind, loving king, or you can be a tyrant. You can be an evil king. Well, kind or benevolent king is fully connected to his masculine. And this could be a queen too. It doesn't have to be a gender, but they're a leader of some flavor. If they are fully connected to their own feminine, they will treat their people the same way as they treat their inner feminine. They will care for the people that their kingdom. They will protect the people of their kingdom. They will make sure that the farmers have water for their crops. They care for others. A true king archetype. But the king archetype is connected to their inner feminine. They are whole beings. So now you take the tyrant king, the cruel king. Well, the cruel is actually a broken person. They are disconnected from their own inner feminine. They are disconnected from their own needs, their own truth, their own feelings. And so then they are cruel to themselves, like they berate themselves, they are mean to themselves, and therefore they're also mean to their kingdom. And now the kingdom has to serve them. The kingdom pays taxes. The kingdom has to make them happy. And so this is where we look at the nature of our masculine in terms of other people. It's all about ourselves. Like, it's all about how are we within? How is our masculine feminine inside? You know, we have a habit, say, for example, of our feelings. The feelings are feminine because the feelings are us. Our brain is masculine. And how often in society do we use our brain to override our feelings? The feelings aren't important. What I think is important, and we push it down. And that's what we've been doing for centuries. We've been pushing the feminine inside each of us way down. Your feelings don't matter. Your truth doesn't matter. You hide who you truly are, all that kind of thing. When the feminine starts to come back in and the masculine serves the feminine, suddenly the feminine has an idea to have a podcast and the masculine makes it happen. The feminine says, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And the masculine says, right on, we're going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
And you are now whole.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting point. So, but I want go a bit deeper into these feelings, because you said now, yeah, it's feminine. So, and I get it. I get it for one side, and I feel I literally feel also more and more this energy here, this divine energy, and I'm sure it also has to do with the feminine, and we also say Mother Earth with purpose, right? So I get it. Hey, my boy is also here. He comes also in the podcast. So, and by the way, he is also really drawn to that feminine, lovely energy, but also I feel now more and more when I come in this masculine, and this I want to say now with the feelings, it don't feel always so in quotes feminine, you know what I mean? So when I'm just deep into that, how I can say that, when I'm deep into that masculinity, and I really feel it, and yeah, we just make it now. I feel it, that's also a kind of feeling, or when I just, when he don't make something, when he is a bit more in his head, and we say something, I don't know, for example, go down when he lies on the bed, so he can lies with us in the bed. But um, sometimes I have to come then a bit more in this feeling, in this energy, in this masculine energy, and just say something now. And then suddenly, directly, he listens and goes down. This is, you, you get it a bit, what I want to say with that? It's not only feminine, these feelings.
Well,
Or
the thing is, we have to talk about them in connection, right? We often talk about things in separation, right? But it's the true masculine feminine is always connected.
yeah,
So like, let's say the dog's on the bed and you don't want him on the bed, but you can kind of feel that he just wants to be close and he just wants to be comfortable. So you're
yeah,
you're you're receiving that from him. So
yeah,
then your masculine is like, you know what? Here, I'm going to put a blanket on the bed, just beside the bed, so you're still
yeah,
close to it. So the
yeah,
masculine. So this is in connection, right?
yeah.
We were often raised with was this sort of authority saying, "Get off the bed," right? Right? That's like this is an object that
Yeah,
needs control, like us in school or as children or at work or whatever. It's like, oh, I said, and that's the masculine we don't want. Like we want to actually be connected. We want
yeah,
to, because that's what we also do inside of us, right? So,
yeah,
for example, imagine, so in Hindu philosophy, you have Shiva Shakti, which
yeah.
is the one God. And so this is oneness. So there's no duality, there's no you and me, everything is just one.
Mm-hmm.
So then those separate into the physical world, which is Shakti, and the
Yeah,
and the spirit, which is Shiva. And so the true dance of Tantra, the true dance of life, is this beautiful dance between our physical Shakti and our masculine Shiva, between
yeah,
all of us.
yeah.
And when you are feeling this divine energy, this is you in your feminine,
Mm,
receive Shiva energy. And this is
yeah,
ecstatic. This is an
yeah,
ecstatic experience to feel this moving through you. So, this is why feelings are feminine. Our physical bodies are feminine, all of us, because this is the manifest self. This. So, for example, let's say you go to the gym,
yeah,
you separate the masculine and the feminine. You separate. The brain says, you're going to do this today, body. The body must respond. So the body is just an object that you're going to
yeah,
beat in.
I go in beast mode. I'm completely in other world. I'm a completely other Felix, for example, or some other. Yeah, yeah.
Right? So this is actually in separation, right? But the problem is eventually this is going to get injured, right? It's sort of like, you're going to do this no matter what. And the body just is like, okay, 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 which is what we were raised with, right? But now imagine it in union. Imagine you still work out, but your body is part of it. Your body is part of the game.
Yeah,
So all of a
sure.
sudden, you are fully in your body. You're feeling the weight, you're feeling what you're doing, but your body is actually informing the workout. The body is telling you what today's workout should be, as opposed to the brain telling the body what it's going to do. Imagine we flip it and we
Yeah,
assume that the body actually has great wisdom.
yeah,
All of a sudden, you're in the body, and maybe you still have an idea that you kind of want to do this today,
yeah,
but you're actually listening to the body all the time. And you're saying, okay, I know there's wisdom in there.
yeah,
Start to move, and the body's like, oh, we can do more. Or the body's like, we need to stop this today and move to something else.
yeah.
Your body will become so strong and wise and will never get injured, right? And you will leave the gym fully
Mm-hmm.
embodied.
Mm-hmm. So you say the body is the feelings or the feminine, you know,
Yeah.
and connect with the heart chakra, and so then you say all the feelings are the feminine side.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Mm,
that's
yeah,
who we are.
yeah, that makes sense also. So, and I I had also in the past several injuries because I took too much weight or don't want me enough up or whatever. And then yeah, I got the receive, right? Or I got the um I don't find the word right now, but uh yeah.
Interesting. Like I used to run, and the man that would teach me and help me in my running, he was an amazing athlete. Like if he goes for a run, he runs 60 kilometers. Like he's
Oh,
an amazing athlete. But
yeah.
he was very connected with his
Yeah.
masculine. He really listened to his body because he believed his body had wisdom. And
Mm-hmm.
so he always say that he always trains so that he's still running when he's 100 years old,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, and this is so such an interesting topic. Now he was coming from pornography to fitness and so, or masculinity, but yeah, it has to do with that everything is connected. And what you say now also to listen on the body is also really important. And what I see also in the world right now is this um unhealthy, in quotes, unhealthy masculinity, and that you have to push always through, and you just doesn't matter on your feelings, completely doesn't matter, just like make a machine, just like you are a fucking robot. And that when you allow yourself to let these feelings out, to listen on your feelings inside you, and also listen on the divine. This is also how people, how masculine man can get downloads from the divine. So, but we have to allow ourselves to feel and also to be vulnerable in a, for sure, in a safe space where you feel safe with someone else, where you can be vulnerable, but also vulnerable to yourself. This is also such a big topic. What I learned now in the last years, especially in the last months, extremely to listen much more on that feelings, on that feminine, and but also on that masculine, what it really means to be masculine. um yeah, I just have right now a bit of explosion because I learned the last month so extremely much. Yeah, but this is such a important topic to listen on our body. And then yeah, we also don't get insured. Why we should get insured when we listen on our body, right?
Well, and it's interesting because again, because the feminine has been oppressed in for the last couple millennia,
Yeah,
we believe that the feminine is weak. And so that feelings are a weakness. But feelings aren't a weakness, they're a guidance,
exactly.
right? That if you are, even let's say you're talking
Exactly.
to your partner and your partner says something and you feel sadness
Mm-hmm.
inside, this is a really important piece of information.
Yeah.
This is not a weakness. This is the only guidance we have. Or if someone does something and it makes us angry, this is really important guidance. This is not a weakness. This is an important sensitivity to our path. And if we say, whoa, 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 that's not okay, that what you just did, that's not okay. This is a power. This is so important.
Yeah.
And when we repress it, we are blind in the world. And like you said, we
Mm-hmm.
just become robots. And you know who's programming the robots? Someone else, right? But if we listen
Mm.
to our feelings and our masculine meets our feelings, our masculine rises to say, you know what? I feel angry, back off. Or if I feel sad and my masculine rises and says, whoa, we need to talk about this. We're going down the wrong path.
Yeah.
The masculine is actually strong. The masculine is actually standing on the earth, and you're actually living your life. And that's a huge deal,
Mm.
as opposed to kind of just shutting that inner connection off and doing whatever that magazine says or whatever that fitness instructor says. It's like, wait a minute, I'm a person. But the problem is we think the feminine is weak. And it's like, are you kidding? If you're not connected to your feelings, are you even there?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so
Mm.
important.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter in which life area. If it's not in the relationships with others, doesn't matter if it's with your girlfriend or boyfriend, or if it's with yourself, feeding into yourself. Mm. But yeah, definitely with the relationships, it's so important. And why the divorce rate is getting higher and higher in the times. But why is it like that? Because we get disconnected. Disconnected is the big word, and this is also what we are talking about right now, connecting, and what I talk also always about. We have to connect again with ourselves, with our roots, with the divine, with each other. And when we don't listen, when we don't feel, we can't communicate.
Well, even imagine, like you mentioned, relationships. So let's say you are connected to your own feelings, right? So something comes up and it's sadness,
Yeah.
and your masculine rises and says, we need to do something about this because it means something's wrong. So then you
Yeah.
do something about it, you change it, and your life is better. And you know this, that if I listen to my feelings, my masculine rises to fix it, my life is better. So now you're in a relationship, right? And all of a sudden, your partner is sad. As a masculine partner, let's just say it's you, right? As the
Yeah.
masculine, you feel your partner's sadness. Instead of saying, oh, for God's sake, or becoming defensive or anything like that, you know the importance of feelings. So now you look at your partner and say, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do we need to talk? That is masculine. And
Exactly.
the partner says, actually, I don't know, maybe it's not important. And you're like, no, it is important. We
Yeah.
need to, and then you talk about it, you fix it, and bam, you're so connected. But if you can't connect with your own feelings, if your partner has feelings that you don't like, you're going to be like, oh, for God's sake, and oh, so now you don't think I'm a good person. And you're going to be all defensive and you're
Yes.
never going to connect. But
Yes.
all it takes is to actually honor it inside, and then you'll honor it in your partner, and you will always be able to resolve everything.
Yeah, everything starts with you, and it's just part of a healthy relationship. So I see this with myself, with also with the past, with the bad relationships. So, but it just was all about me, I would say, because I was attracting that person. It we just attract, and yeah, that's such an important topic. But before, yeah, we come slowly to the end. I have some other question that I really have to ask you. So maybe you can answer, maybe not, then it's also fine. So Tantra is not just higher sex, it's also experience other orgasms. So, and also in general, more satisfied with life. Can we say that like that?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, and when we go then into the masculine part, so because I go also now deeper into helping men, and uh, because I experience this myself, and I'm a man, and
Mhm.
I I go now also a yeah, I go now also deeper into um last longer. So, and what do you have any tips for men to last longer?
Mhm. The
And
first thing,
not ejaculating and experience this orgasm with the chakras,
yeah. The first thing is actually the decision to not ejaculate. And that you actually have to decide. And it's a deeper question than you think. Like
Yeah,
it's actually something to
it's
say, right?
deep.
So like let's say I say to a couple, well, tonight, go home and make love, but don't ejaculate and don't try to have an orgasm. So the first thing people say is, well, then what are we doing? I don't understand what we're doing. That's the first question. So then what are you doing?
Yeah, what we
If
are doing. Mhm.
that's not the goal, what are you doing? So then all of a sudden you go to bed and you lie there, maybe you're naked, and you just start to touch each other. And you start to realize that how lucky am I to have this person who I get to be intimate with? And you start
Mhm.
to, and this is where the eye gazing could come in, that you actually kind of lie there and you look at each other and you're like, this is really special, isn't it? Like a lot of people in the world would love to be lying here right now, even if you didn't have sex, to simply be allowed to lie with another person in this kind of intimacy. And then all of a sudden you just sort of gently start to stroke the other person. And then you just begin to hug. And maybe you just go, wow, like your skin is so soft or it's so rough or whatever it is. And it's just like, wow, this is so beautiful. And because you're relaxed, suddenly that touch is like it's like you feel it almost like when let's say you really like someone and they walk by you and they touch your shoulder and your
Yeah.
whole body feels this like, whoa, like you didn't ejaculate, you didn't have sex. All they did was touch you.
Yeah.
Well, we have that all the time. Like we have that ability. But if our head is all about, I want to have an orgasm, I want to ejaculate, we're not in our body. So we release that altogether. We
Mhm.
completely relax because we have to relax. Because you imagine, let's say when you're working out and you're tense, you don't feel anything, right? Like you all your muscles are constricted, your nervous system is constricted, your blood, everything is restricted. right?
I personally feel, so also it's just some other feelings, a bit more masculine feelings and satisfying. So in another way, I would say.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, I used to do taekwondo. And so
Yeah.
when someone's going to punch you,
Yeah.
you've got to tense your muscles, right? So you don't feel it the same, right?
Yeah.
So if we're lying in bed and we're thinking and we're worried or we're wondering, our body is actually quite tense and it's
Yeah.
hard to. So the key is to completely relax and just imagine that you're going to hang out with your best friend naked for a couple,
Damn.
right? Like, because I mean, assuming this is your partner, right? So this is your the person who loves you, the person, and you're just going to hang out in bed. Maybe you're going to touch each other. Maybe you're going to make out like teenagers. Maybe you're
Okay.
going to have sex. Like whatever. Who cares, right? Maybe you're going to have a nap, but you're just going to hang out. You're just going to.
Mm-hmm.
So then all of a sudden, this is where magic happens. And I'm not even kidding. Like you actually have to try it because you just start playing. And even if you have intercourse, like you actually get inside of them, you're not like, you're not doing that because you're actually exploring it. You're like, wow, this feels so lovely. Like, this is so wonderful. And your
Yeah.
partner realizes, oh, he's not like pounding me. I can relax. Well, as soon as she relaxes and her yoni releases, it will come alive. It will actually, it's not just a cylinder, it will actually become like this. So all of a sudden, both of you are having completely different experiences. And you don't want to ejaculate because you're like, this feels amazing. What is this? This is something completely different. And then all of a sudden, you start kissing a little and you start doing this. And all of a sudden, you're on an exploration. And you're like, okay, screw ejaculating. I want to know what this is about. This is amazing. And something in a man switches. It's like a switch inside that says, no, I want to do this now. And you start exploring and the energy starts flowing and you can do anything and it doesn't matter. There's no rules about how to do this. You just follow that intuition, you follow your feelings, you follow your
Yeah.
body. And then all of a sudden, 2 hours have gone by. And you're like, and all of a sudden you're kind of resting, right? You're kind of just like resting. And you kind of look at your phone and you're like, wow, 2 hours have gone by.
Mm.
I didn't even know. But you're all kind of warm and fuzzy and cuddling and stuff. And then maybe you start
Mm.
up again.
Mm.
But there's something about completely taking your eyes off the goal. Because the thing is, we are all sensual beings. And if we just allow ourselves to be with someone, and you just think about how much you love them, think about how beautiful they are, and think about that, and just explore them, explore us, explore all that, and to realize that that ejaculation is so small, it is so tiny. And then what happens is this orgasmic state you're talking about is you're so relaxed. So now imagine that your body is open, right? Your
Yeah.
nerves are open. Everything's open. So every touch like goes right through you. And I'm just touching my hand. Imagine like touching like your
Yeah.
genitals and your whole body. It's actually overwhelming how much sensation there is if we relax. And you don't have to do any special touch. There's nothing, if people are teaching you special things, they're just tricks, and then we're in our head again, right?
Mm.
Everybody knows how to do this. You just have to relax. And then all of a sudden, this energy is like flowing through your body. Just
Mm-hmm.
not, just like it did when that person just touched you on his shoulder and it went through your whole body, right? It just
Yeah.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it just becomes normal. And then if you want to ejaculate, if all of a sudden you're like, where's, and sometimes what happens, especially when men do get into their hearts, right? They become very sensitive and maybe they will ejaculate and whatever, who cares? Right? Like it's not a big deal. But the key is to
Mm.
just sort of say, well, that was fun. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it
Yeah.
again later.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So I mean, it's like a muscle you have to train, like in the gym. You also don't become, now a hardcore example, you don't become from one day to another like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's, yeah, it needs time and it needs experience. So I guess just experience and maybe get a bit more knowledge with your book, for example. Yeah.
This book, this one here is probably the best for that. Like this one's the best for understanding
Yeah, tantric intimacy.
and the
Yeah.
ejaculation and all.
Yeah. I put a link in the show notes, then people can check it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I want to come to the last question before the interview, the conversation gets too long, before the listeners lose their attentiveness. That's anyway times today, short attentive span, right? Attention span, yeah. What do you think the world needs right now the most?
Hmm. It's funny. It's like what you said about self-love, and it's, but for me, self-love is that inner masculine loving our inner feminine. It's our inner masculine connecting with who we really are.
Yeah.
Because what it does is we become, it's like we become little worlds ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, my masculine loves the ideas my feminine has, and I do them. My feminine needs something, and I give it to her. My masculine says, I'm going to protect you no matter what, and I listen within. And when each one of us is like that, then every person we interact with, that's how we interact with them. But it just starts with us, and that's hard. Like that's not a small thing to actually connect within like that, but it's the foundation of everything. Like nothing else will change until that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And now there was just again something coming in the mind as we talked before, just going with the flow, intuition, and listen on the divine. And maybe I make this also in the next conversations I have. But what do you have a favorite movie?
Oh, I have so many favorite movies. I mean, obviously, The Matrix was epic.
Oh,
Um,
all right. Yes, me too. I
right?
love it also.
Well, and for me, The Matrix came out at a time that it was near the time that I was sick.
Yeah.
And so it really helped me open my mind to what was possible in the world.
Yeah.
Um, but I also love, like, you ever seen the movie Phenomenon with John Travolta?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's an amazing movie about human potential
Phe
where
phenomenon.
um,
Phenomenon.
I love that movie. I believe it holds the keys to a lot of what we're really all about.
Yeah, I asked with that reason because I'm sure movies can have also deep meanings. Sure, maybe not all movies, maybe, yeah, definitely not. And also some series, maybe not, but from movies with deep meaning, we can learn a lot. Like, for example, you said also The Matrix. Yeah, Matrix also one of my favorite movies. I looked at several times. Uh, so, but yeah, definitely I have to check out the Phenomenon.
Oh, I love that movie. I've seen it
Mhm.
many times.
All
Yeah.
right, nice. Then yeah, it was a pleasure to talk to you. This was a great conversation. I had also personally definitely my learnings. And I give the last words to you when you have some last words. And when not also fine, then we wrap up directly.
Yeah, I don't know. If there's anything for me that life is really about is trying to find the joy. And it sounds silly, but it's almost like life can get really hard and really serious. But I think we can still be wise in the world and still be joyful and light. And that's sort of my personal goal these days, is just to remember the happiness. Like, we can be really aware of everything going on, but we're here.
We're
Like, we
here.
may as well enjoy it. Like, there's
Yeah.
no point in being angry. We may as well, there is a lighter way, there's a joyful way too. So
Yeah. We are here in the here and the now. That's the only thing what exists. But yeah, I almost forgot it. Where the people can find you the best?
the best is to go to katrinabos.ca.
All right,
And
your website.
I also have a YouTube channel that's just Katrina Bos, and there's hundreds of videos there about all of these topics.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks so much. This has been great.
Thank you so much for tuning into A Place for Open Minds today. I hope you enjoyed this journey. And remember, transformation begins with an open mind and a willingness to explore new perspectives. And something really, really important for me to say is, if you found value in today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review my podcast for your favorite platform. Doesn't matter if it's now YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Your feedback helps me grow and reach more open minds like yours. And I don't run any ads, etc. for an interruption-free experience. And because of that, this podcast thrives through your recommendations. Stay connected with me on social media. All the links you find in the video or podcast description. And until next time, embrace the journey, trust the process, and continue striving to become the best version of yourself. Keep shining your light, and I catch you in the next episode. As you know, as always, here's much love and peace. Your host Felix Poyel. See ya. Peace out.